All right, welcome to the next Whole Body Migraine Assessment call. My name is Dr. Tanya Paynter. I'm a naturopathic doctor who treats women with chronic migraines who do not respond well to medication and want to figure out what's going on with their migraines so they can actually heal from them. The Whole Body Migraine Assessment call is basically me sharing kind of the process that I go through to help somebody understand some of the things that could be going on for their migraines, to give them a little bit better idea of what might be happening for their particular situation and give them a little bit of direction as far as where to go with their doctor so that they can maybe explore some of these other things that are typically not addressed in conventional approaches. So in this assessment, I'm going to review the information that Allie shared with us. So Allie is our person, our special person today, and just kind of evaluating her situation and looking for what those patterns reveal about her biochemical triggers. So Allie shares that she has 2 to 4 migraines a month. She has a history of fluoroquinolone toxicity, which is a type of antibiotic, gallbladder dysfunction, food intolerances. Her migraines are usually worse when she wakes up. She is in menopause. She has seasonal allergies. Caffeine makes it better, and sugar and alcohol make it worse. So one of the very first things, Allie, that we want to take a look at is that fluoroquinolone toxicity. Working with some doctors to try to get things working better from a cellular standpoint. So there's some mitochondrial damage, which is kind of the powerhouses of our cells that happen in fluoroquinolone toxicity. So doing supportive things like CoQ10 and carnitine and certain B vitamins can all be helpful in kind of bringing the cells back on board. And then working on some detoxification, because a lot of times what happens in fluoroquinolone toxicity is our body kind of just stops working as well. It doesn't break things down. Our glutathione, our antioxidants are depleted, and all of those can contribute to migraines and just not feeling well in general. So definitely working on kind of the cellular aspect of how your body is running post toxicity would be really helpful. You can consider some IV therapies and things like that. Bile salts to help with the breakdown of fats and food so that you digest a little bit better, given some of the gallbladder dysfunction that you reported. And then hopefully you've eliminated the food intolerances at this point. So that's probably already been done. But one of the things that we need to look forward at is, have you worked on gut healing since you've done that? So if we remove things that we've figured out we're intolerant to, but we don't actually work on healing up the gut, then that sets us up for that leaky gut picture, right? Where then we eat something else instead, and then we start reacting negatively to that. And then we eat something else, and then something, the negative reaction there. So we actually have to work on healing up the gut after the inflammation secondary to those food intolerances. So that would be another piece to look at. And then also you had noted that you have seasonal allergies. And so that histamine piece is going to be playing a role as well. So in 2 ways. One, histamine can irritate the gut. So again, looking at things from that gut perspective. And 2 is how our body is actually processing histamine based on certain genetics, certain forms of B vitamins, how much of those B vitamins we have. All of those can really cause our body to slow down its ability to process histamine, which is very inflammatory and is also a known migraine trigger. So definitely taking a look at that histamine pathway and things that you can do to help support how your body processes histamine. And so, where do you go for that? So you're going to be looking for like a naturopathic doctor or a functional medicine doctor that can help you with evaluating and treating those particular areas. Let's see here. So a couple other notes that I had. So considering doing a low histamine diet and see if that helps with some of the migraine symptoms. And you can also consider looking at some DAO support, which is diamine oxide, the enzyme that breaks down histamine. Geez, you can take it when you're eating higher histamine foods to kind of help that break down a little bit. So those are just kind of a couple of hints there. menopause. So you had mentioned that you're in menopause, and you also mentioned that your migraines have gotten worse in the last couple of years. So I'm not sure where in that menopausal process you are, if it happened a couple of years ago or not. But this is actually not that uncommon, where the statistics show that 33% of women with migraines will get better after menopause. 33% will get worse, and 33% will have no change. So you've got a 66% chance that your migraines aren't changing or are going to get worse by menopause, which is unfortunate. And in a lot of cases, if you do notice, once that's pointed out and you're like, yeah, actually, when I went through menopause or around that time is when things started getting worse, then we know that there's going to be that hormonal component as well. So taking a look at your estrogen progesterone ratio, the levels of each of them. Blood work might not do it, because when you're postmenopausal, it doesn't actually tell you how much you have. It just tells you that you're under a certain number, and that's not helpful. So you might need to look at, again, a naturopathic or functional medicine doctor can order some of those specialty tests that will really give you a good idea of what's going on. We're looking at urine or saliva for those. But the picture that you're presenting is most likely going to be a progesterone and estrogen deficiency with a dominance of estrogen. That's what I'm going to guess. It's my educated opinion, which basically means that you're low in both of your hormones, but that you have more estrogen than you should. And that will also set you up for some pretty good migraines. A couple other things that I'll just note, kind of side note, vasodilation seems to be an issue for you. So when your blood vessels get too big, so coffee helps, or caffeine, you said, helps. And mute. Oh, wouldn't that suck if I talked that whole time and it was mute? Okay. All right, and one last thing that I'll mention, Allie, is that vasodilation seems to be possibly an issue for you. So that's when our blood vessels get too big. Caffeine can help, ice helps, heat makes things worse. And so one of the things, if that is the case, one of the things that we want to take a look at is arginine foods, arginine containing foods. So things like nuts, basically anything with protein is going to have some arginine, but there are some higher and some lower arginine foods. So you can Google a list of that. But I wouldn't necessarily cut that out. But what I would do is kind of be familiar with what's high arginine, what's low arginine, and then just start tracking on the days that you eat a lot of it. Do those seem to be like their days that you have migraine that hit pretty bad? So just something to kind of be observing and paying attention to. So hopefully that was helpful. One of the things that I always like to note at the end of these recaps is we don't want to just eliminate the triggers, right? We really need to evaluate and initially eliminate things. But then the third and most important step of that is actually working on healing the body and bringing it back in balance. So then you can go, instead of eliminating, you can start adding things back in, right? You can start adding in the foods that used to trigger you. You can start adding in exercise and these other things that might not work for you right now. So once we can target those underlying biochemical issues and allow you to heal, then we actually see those migraines going away and staying away. It's very, very effective. So hopefully that was helpful for everybody watching, and Ali, specifically for you. If you want more information about this individual type of approach and whole body approach to migraines, then I would invite you to watch the free training I have linked in the description, and feel free to sign up for your own whole body migraine assessment as well. And I'll shoot a video for you too. Until next time.